Okay. I was debating on whether or not I should make this video. Um, because I don't wanna sound like I'm a gatekeeper, but because I'm not. I can't. I'm not the first one to come up with this method. But I want to make a video about how I am currently learning Chinese, and I got this camera in my face, but I have no other choice. I have this setup that I have is I had to build it myself, but that's beyond the point. I want to make this video to give you guys my method, my study method for learning Chinese, and honestly, I can almost assure you it's gonna work for any language. It's not easy as far as like, oh, learn Chinese in 2 days or whatever. It's nothing like that. I'm authentically learning, and I'm gonna authentically give you a method on how to learn the language. And honestly, once you hear the method, you're gonna be like, oh, that's nothing but what this guy's doing or this guy's doing. It's like, yeah, but it's slightly different because of how I do it. So let's start. Instead of just beating around the bush, this is not gonna be some super high edited professional video. So sorry if that's what you're looking for. This is just a straight raw what I'm giving you. All right. So first, I also want to say this before we move on. It did take me literally months. Actually, for being technical, it took me years to finally find this method. With just tons of different types of trying out different things. Maybe just maybe this is for higher level learners. Maybe this method only works for people who have attained a certain level of the language already. I don't know, but as of right now, I can't imagine doing anything else different than this method. To the point where I'm even making a video about it. But yeah, I moved to China in March of last year. It took me months here to figure this out. And I've been doing this method for maybe it's been officially a year now, or close to a year, and I haven't changed this method since I started, which tells me, okay, this is pretty much it. All right, so now let's get started. So these are notebooks, as you can see, notebooks. This notebook has some grease on it, but we're gonna ignore that. What I like to do is read. Simple enough, right? Let me go grab. Am I able to pause this? No, I just have a stop button. Well, let me not grab that. I'll just use this book I have here. I was gonna grab my manga, but I use this too. So I read, preferably, if I can, short stories. See, this story is literally like 2 pages. Half a page, whole page, half a page. Short stories, or I read manga books because I'm interested in manga. But what I do is I'll start reading a book. Now that I'm talking about this, maybe this is for higher level learners. Maybe you've already reached a level. But there's easy, like, baby books out there too. So for the beginners, try to get like some easy baby books to start off. But I start reading a book, right? And let's do an example here. Let's do this story. This is the first story in the book, right? So I start reading. I see this says, I recognize this, right? 60岁的浪漫. right? 这是一个冬天的夜晚，外面的小北风。I've studied this word before, but I forgot it. But let's pretend I never knew what this character is, right? I know you guys probably can't see it, it's a little small, but you're going to get the point. What I end up doing is I will go on my phone and I have this app, right? Now, for Latin languages, for my English speakers, you can just type in the word in any dictionary. For me, specifically, it's Chinese, so I have to draw it in, right? And then I save it, or I look it up. Oh, it says gua, which means to scrape or shave, smear with, right? So this is Pleco, by the way. Shout out to Pleco. If you're learning Chinese like me, you need to download Pleco. This is a necessary app, period. So I look it up. Oh, gua, okay. So now I know what this means, but that's not enough, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to add it to a specific category. You can make categories in Pleco. I have plenty of categories here. For this book specifically, if you can see, I have 60岁的浪漫, right? I have it. I have a category. I'm going to save this character in that category. Okay? And what I'm going to do later, right? I'm done, right? Then I'll continue reading until I get tired. Oops, sorry. Okay. So now when I'm done, let's say I read down to here, right? Now I've seen like maybe 5, 6, 7 characters I didn't know. While I was reading, I put all the characters inside my little category here, right? Okay. Now what I like to do is I'll do flashcards, right? Maybe this is later, not like right after I'm done. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. All right. I hope the audio didn't cut out there. So, what I like to do is I'll save them in Pleco. Later on, what I'll do is I'll do flashcards. So I'll open up the test. You can select what categories you want to test, right? And then you look at the words. Each word that you don't know, that are new words, you need to write down the character, yes, in Chinese. Write down the characters. Write down the meaning. And then in parentheses or however you want to notate it, you want to put the pinyin, so you know how to say it. Okay? Then underneath this, you put a sentence. And the great thing about Pleco is that each word you look up, they're going to have example sentences. You're going to use these example sentences. You're going to write them down, because the example sentences in Pleco, they're using the words correctly. A lot of people have problems because they use words wrong when they learn words. You have to know how to use these words. So you write them down. Then you, if you want, well, not if you want, you should write down these sentences translation, right? I have 状态很好, right? This means the condition is good. Equals condition is good, right? Now for Chinese particularly, sometimes in the example sentences, you don't know a character, right? So to solve that, let's find one. Hold on. I've got an example sentence in here somewhere where I didn't know the word in the sentence. Hold on. Prime example. Let's do this one. Zhao Yu, encounter. Zhao Yu, 不幸. This means you meet with misfortune. At the time when I seen the sentence in Pleco, I didn't know what these two characters were or what they meant. So I put a circle with the pinyin next to the example sentence, then do that. So I know Zhao Yu, 不幸. Zhao Yu, encounter. 不幸, circle, meet with misfortune. Oh, 不幸 must mean misfortune. I hope you guys are staying with me here. Okay. Now, once you're done taking the test and you write down all the words that you don't know or that are new, you're going to read more, put more words in, take the test more often. Now, here's the funny thing. Let's say in the test, I take the test again at a later date, right? And I encounter that word that we just reviewed, Zhao Yu, right? But I forget. Oh no, I've seen these characters before, but I forgot what it means. And I try my best, and I can't remember. What you need to do is you need to write down the word again in your notebook. Even though the last time you took the test, you wrote it down, even though it's in your notebook already, you have to write everything all over again. You have to punish yourself for not remembering the word. This is just how it works. You have to do it. So if you look in my notebook, you'll see, I'm trying to find an example here. Let me see. Prime example, here we go. See this word? 陷, pitfall, trap, or defect. 缺陷, deficiency, right? This was a new word at the time. I wrote it down, wrote down the example sentence, whatever. Great. Maybe a couple days later, it came up in Pleco again. I forgot the character. So what did I do? Once I tapped on it, I had to write everything down over again. This is going to do nothing but help you. And even if it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times you forget, you're not going to want to write down all the information again. So you're going to remember eventually. Okay? And that's how I acquire new words. I read, I write down, not write down. I read, I put in the words I don't know in my app, flashcard them. If I forget the character, I write down the character in my notebook. If it's a new word that I learned in the book that came up in Pleco that I haven't seen yet, I write that in the notebook as well. Example sentences, how to say it, how to use it. And just do that over and over again. And all the while, you're still reading your books. You're still attaining new vocabulary. And you're writing and writing and writing. And this is going to help you, especially with Chinese, it's going to help you learn how to write Chinese, which is important. Here's an unpopular opinion. Yes, you can maybe, I don't even want to say learn a language without knowing how to write. Some people say they can speak languages, great, but can you write it? A lot of people, they don't know how to write their languages. I can't say you really know a language if you don't know how to write, read, and speak the language. Okay? You can say, oh, I know how to speak this language. That's fine. But you don't know the language. You don't know the language until you start writing it. For me, I tried to do that at the beginning. I tried to just learn how to speak, learn how to say it, and use pinyin. Don't look at the characters, just pinyin speak. No. Pinyin, by the way, is the Latin romanticization of the, I don't know how to say that. You know what I mean? How to say the characters, right? Zajir. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see. Zajir. Zajer, right? Oh, I know this is Zajer because I can see it. This is the pinyin. But yeah, it's one of those things where um, I'm getting off track. Point is, oh yeah, you should write the language you're trying to learn. Um, but yeah, so now, by the way, writing the characters is gonna help you read better, obviously, because you wrote the character a billion times. It's like, oh yeah, I know this character, I know this word. So this is the method I've been doing. Now you're gonna probably ask me, how do you practice listening? Listening is very important, and it's actually something that I need to work more on, more with. Now, what you can do, if you want, in Pleco, for the example sentences, they do have options where you can listen to the sentence. I don't personally listen to them that much like I should. Um, Primarily because I'm at the point now where my pronunciation, it's not, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it's pretty standard. So like if I say it, because every sentence I write down I say out loud. When I say it, it helps me with the listening because I'm saying it. And I wouldn't recommend doing that because a lot of you probably would think your pronunciation is perfect and you can do that. It's not. I probably shouldn't be doing it either, but this is why I can't. I'm currently living in China. Listening is one of the biggest reasons why I came to China, because I can walk outside, have a conversation, and get more listening practice from the locals. So I wouldn't recommend, saying the words out, sentences out loud, and considering that listening practice. Although I do it, I would consider looking at that as far as that goes. Sorry, my camera. I don't know what happened to my camera. But that's pretty much it, to be honest with you. I don't want the video going too long. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You write down, review, read, and listening. You can listen to music. Try to find people you can talk to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my method for learning Chinese. If you have any questions, let me know. Is my method that unique? Tell me in the comments. I think maybe there's some aspects there that are, but it's just reading. It's just reading and obtaining vocabulary, and it's probably not the perfect method, but it's the one that's been keeping me going. It's the most motivating method I think I've come across, and the method that I haven't given up yet. So it works well for me. So that's my study method. If you want to try it, you can. But that's about it. See, almost forgot to mention one more thing. Forgot my other notebook. This notebook, I'm gonna quickly do this before my camera runs out again. So the sentences that you see, once you get the sentences locked in, as far as like you're memorizing the entire sentences or some words, you need to write down all of those words you learned in another notebook. I mean, all the sentences you learned in another notebook in just the straight language. And then review the sentences over and over again and get it down. I don't want to see any English in the other notebook. Okay, this notebook is for the English, the pinyin, and the translations. Okay, great. You need a notebook where you're just writing down the straight language, the straight Chinese, right? 结尾工程，他的做法不值得效仿，他悄悄地跟我全说了，拍某人的背，人群播放比赛实况。See, these are all. I think the camera just gave out. Yeah. So you guys see it. So these are all. Sorry for the colors. These are all just sentences that I've memorized so much in my head, and I'm doing that so I know how to use the words that I discovered in the sentences. So that's it. So I'll see you guys next time. I'm probably gonna make a video right after this of just straight Chinese, maybe talking about the same thing. But I wanted one in English for my English speakers who wanna learn another language and that are serious about it. So, all right.